Hi, folks, here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the gaming capital of the world. With Bruce Marshall, I'm Brian Blessing. Thank you for joining us right here at BangTheBook.com. We've got a weekend preview for you, and we're going to start with a preview of a baseball series. And the Yankees are out west taking on the Angels. The Yankees stubbing their toe a little bit of late, having lost 2 in a row, Bruce, to the A's after a good start at Seattle, and it's just been a nightmare for the Angels from the get-go.
Yeah, it has been. And you wonder if the Angels are going to be able to turn this thing around. You know, they did have that 8-game winning streak a few weeks ago, but since then they've lost 11 out of 16. Here is something I think should worry any Angel fan. They've played the Astros already 10 times this season. They've lost 7 times to them. Compare that to the A's, way ahead of them in the AL West right now. The A's are 9-0 against Houston this year. This weekend they've got the Yankees in a tale of 2 different teams here. Angels have not made the most of what has been presented them this season. Yankees have overcome some of these injuries and obstacles, so thus far, the Yankees are certainly performing much better than the Angels. Teams people thought were rather evenly matched coming into the year.
Pitching matchups. It starts with Pettit versus Wilson, then Phelps versus Hansen. And the get-out game, Sabathia goes versus Weaver. And it seemed like, once the heat of summer about to kick in, that's when Sabathia gets started and pitches much better. He got hurt by the A's in his last outing earlier in the week.
Yeah, I did. I think that's a very poignant matchup on Sunday night with Sabathia and Weaver because neither of them are pitching like they have in the past. Now, Weaver had the excuse with the injury. He's come back. His 3 starts since have been okay, but he's not his dominant old self. And Sabathia, like you say, hit hard by the A's in his last start. I think the alarming thing about Sabathia thus far, he's already allowed 14 homers in 91 innings pitched. I mean, this equates to almost 40 homers over the course of the season. That's not the old CC Sabathia. He hasn't been that sharp. Neither of these two have been dominating like they have in the past.
One of the highlights of the weekend will be Saturday, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Tough act to follow for the Bruins and Blackhawks. Triple overtime. Blackhawks rally from a 2-goal deficit. Win in dramatic fashion. Game 2 numbers, $1.55. Chicago favored. 5 to the under. The total on the game, but the series price, almost 3-1, seems awfully high to me, Bruce. It's only one game. Boston had a 2-goal lead, committed an egregious turnover, and I thought had the better opportunities in overtime.
I think you're right. And if there's ever an evenly matched-looking series, it's this one. And if there's ever a team you don't want to count out after losing a game, it's Boston. Remember 2 years ago against Vancouver, lost the first 2 in the Stanley Cup Finals, came back to win that series. They've been very resilient. They have won games on the road in the postseason. Tuukka Rask, I thought, came up very big for the most part in Game 1, like he has the entire postseason. They don't lose anything against Crawford, but these are 2 very good goalies. Rask keeps the Bruins in the game, and I think they certainly have a fighting chance the rest of the series.
7 goals produced in Game 1. Don't forget, in this lockout-shortened season, East Conference teams have not faced Western Conference teams. So this is the first time these 2 teams played. They started to build up the hate as that game went on, and I think that will lend itself to more physical play and lower scoring games.
I think so. Valuable lesson for the Blackhawks. Put the puck on net. We saw what happened with a couple of those bank shots and deflections. However, their power play has been diffused thus far, and it's been kind of a problem throughout the postseason for them. Let's see how that plays out in Game 2.
And let's move on to the Sunday night Major League Baseball game. Little spotlight, stand alone with San Francisco at Atlanta. Lincecum goes versus the kid, Julio Teheran. The Braves, $1.45 favorites. Total on the game, let's call it 8 shaded to the over. Lincecum's woes continue, Bruce. He was one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is beyond just a brief slump here for Lincecum. It goes back to last year. He's had a lot of trouble on the road, too. His ERA was over 6 away last year. It's over 5 away from home this season. Control issues continue to haunt Lincecum. He's walking too many batters. That was the same thing as last year. I think it's beyond the point where they're just a bit concerned in San Francisco. I think they're a lot concerned that we may not see the old Tim Lincecum again.
Braves, 500 baseball of late, but they've got a 6-game cushion in the National League East. The youngster, Julio Teheran, 22 years old, 4-3, 3.62 ERA. Numbers are good. They're not electric. But you know what? They could be a lot better because a lot of games he's out there on the bump pitching great. He gets no run support.
Yeah, that's happened a few times for him this season. And you delve deeper and drill deep into his numbers this year. 6 of his last 9 starts, he's allowed 2 runs or fewer. A couple of games he's been hit pretty hard. He did beat the Giants on May 9th at San Francisco. Bigger factor here for the Braves is they're back at home where they're 21-7 at Turner Field this season. They've also got some cushion in the NL East where I'm not sure anybody else is going to finish above 500.
Great information. Bruce will be back with you folks again next week from Las Vegas. It's going to be an exciting weekend right here at BangTheBook.com.